19th of December 1997. An Intercity 125 collides with a coal train in Southall, killing 9 people. 5th of October 1999. An Intercity 125 collides with a Thames Turbo in Ladbroke Grove, killing 31 people. Many people were wondering, would there be another crash involving an Intercity 125? One person would make it certain. In the UK, automatic half-barrier crossings are used on roads where traffic is unlikely to queue across the tracks and where track speed does not exceed 160 km an hour. On the 6th of November 2004, 48-year-old Brian Drysdale of Reading, Berkshire, starts to drive his car, a Mazda 323, towards the Ufton Nervet rail crossing. This crossing was on a narrow lane linking the village of Ufton Nervet with the A4, about 300 metres away from where the lane joined the road. Around this time, the 5:35 p.m. First Great Western FGW service from Paddington to Plymouth, comprised of Class 43 power car number 4301 line leading, Mark III Intercity coaches A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, and another Class 43 power car 43029 trailing at the back. 251 people were on board the train. Then, at the crossing, Brian Drysdale suspiciously stops on the tracks, ignoring the alarms going off at the crossing and the gates going down. At 6:12 p.m, the fates of everyone is sealed. The HST plows into the car, making it fly off to the cess due to the cone-shaped nose of the power car, causing the front bogie to derail and skid, making the other coaches pile up like sardines in a can. One of the coaches flies off towards the edge of the tracks and skids onto its side. One was bent in half like a slap band, another rolled onto its side, pinned down by another coach. The rear 2 cars were listing diagonally, just being held up by the rails and ballast. The 2 front cars had fallen onto their sides, relatively less damage compared to the other cars. The coach pinning down the other was then shrugged towards a field, pushing the pinned down coach with it. 7 people died, and 71 were injured, 12 of which were listed as critical. Survivors reported using safety hammers to break the train windows after the collision. The collision occurred after dark, and most survivors used mobile phones and glow sticks as light sources. The people who died were 54-year-old train driver Stanley Martin of Torquay, 38-year-old Anjanette Rossi and her 9-year-old son Llewellyn Main, both from Speen, 72-year-old Charlie Matthews of Warminster, 55-year-old Barry Stevens of Wells, 14-year-old Emily Webster of Ducombe, Morthampstead, and the 48-year-old car driver Brian Drysdale. 61 of the injured passengers were transported to the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading and the North Hampshire Hospital in Basingstoke. The remaining 10 passengers were either treated on scene or at the nearby Winning Hand pub. The track was blocked off until the 16th of November 2004 under temporary speed restrictions to allow the bedding in of ballast. The section between Swindon and Westbury was cut off from long-distance trains and served by small rail shuttles, coaches and buses. Everyone was wondering why the Mazda had stopped on the tracks. Investigators ruled out mechanical faults, maintenance issues, staff negligence, driver negligence, as well as many other things. So what was it? It turned out that it was a suicide from the driver. Drysdale, who had his job as a hotel chef at the time, was at his workplace but had left early at 5:30 p.m, saying that he was ill. He then left a note telling the Sunday chef what to order. The inquest heard that he was homosexual, however had hidden it from family and friends for many years, plus he was awaiting the results of an HIV test. An ex-boyfriend said that he couldn't come to terms with his sexuality and was, in his view, tormented by it. However, the definite cause of the crash is still unknown and will likely never be found. But this wasn't the last incident at the crossing. In 2009, a man from Reading took his own life by jumping in front of an oncoming train. In 2010, the same happened again. On May 22nd, 2012, an express train hit a motor scooter on the crossing, killing the rider David Montague. British Transport Police reported that the crossing was working correctly, but an inquest resulted in an open verdict to whether it was suicide or not. And on October 15th, 2004, a man from Callot, Berkshire, was killed by a train. A support group, the Ufton Nervet Train Crash Network, UNTCN, was set up to help the victims and survivors. In 2005, the Royal Humane Society awarded Royal Marines Company Service Major Tom McPhee and salesman Brian Kemsley for tending to the wounds of the mother and son previously mentioned, as well as others. The crossing at Ufton Nervet was replaced by a new bridge spanning over the tracks in 2016. A memorial garden was made, with the fields around it becoming popular picnic and recreation spots. Network Rail, the track maintainer of Great Britain, announced that 600 more crossings will close by the end of this year. It's been 15 years since this crash, and while diminishing, level crossings still continue to be a threat to commuters from negligence, suicide, or mistakes. It's all the more important that we stay safe at level crossings, because if we don't, certain disaster will strike. In the end, 43019 was damaged beyond repair and scrapped. 43029 had derailed on Saturday 25th of May 1991 in the Luxullian Valley and was undamaged. It would then make history, running the shortest HST service to ever occur as passengers were ferried in the engine back to Luxullian. It then would promo the new First Great Western Barbie livery in 2001. In this crash, it was repaired and put back into service in spring 2006.